We are back on Open Line. Great night to be joining us here. It is, of course, Ask an Attorney. We are asking the expert, and the expert, of course, Attorney Kevin Kennedy from the Kennedy Law Firm. A lot of you online with us, and we certainly understand it's a great way to get incredible advice from the attorney himself. We are going to go back to our lines right now. So, Mary, we appreciate your patience. You are on Open Line. Do you have a question or a comment for Kevin? Are you with us, Mary?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Do you have a question or a comment?
I just have a question.
Okay.
I had a real bad wreck 1997, June the 12th, and it's been several years. I wondered if I could ever go back to court on it.
The truth of the matter is there's a statute of limitations on personal injury in Tennessee, 1 year. If you don't file the claim, you're forever barred. If it were on property damage, you can go like 3 years in the state of Tennessee. If it's a contractual situation, you can go 6 years. But after 20, pretty much that's the end of the issue. It didn't say you didn't have a great case. That's why we cannot sit on our rights. Laches. There's an old legal maxim, don't sit on your rights. If my neighbor built the fence on me, I've got to move. If I say, well, I'll deal with that later, I'm not strong enough. Well, guess what? The law is against you. You've got to advance your own rights.
And, you know, Kevin, I just wanted to insert here, one of the reasons, though, that I know so many people come to you is your experience. I mean, that is just, it seems like common sense.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. But you have 3 firms where you can draw from that experience.
You know, over the years, I love to talk to experienced lawyers because I even tell my lawyers, you can come in and spend 10 minutes with me. I can tell you more in 10 minutes than you can research 12 hours. They look a little puzzled. And I said, yes, did you think about that? No. And so experience, it does make the difference. One of my great judge friends said, Kevin, that's why we call it the practice of law. So we continue to practice. Even my closing arguments, when I got a winner, I would hold on to it. But I honed it. And I took a little edge off here and took a little edge off there and then tried to make it perfection.
All right. If you do have a question or a comment, you see the number on your screen, 615-737-7587. Get online with us so that we're able to get to as many calls as possible this evening. We are going back to the lines right now, and Belize is on the line with us. Belize, thanks for calling in. Do you have a question or a comment for Kevin?
Yes, I do. I was wrongfully evicted from an apartment complex that had changed hands at least 4 times in the time that I was there. I got a letter from them, the property owners, that said that I had till like the 18th to talk to them, but I wasn't 2 months behind at all, and so I ended up going to court. Unfortunately, because my son was a drug addict, and now he's had 2 strokes, and he has epilepsy. But I was wrongfully evicted out of my house, and the judge wouldn't let me go back and get my back brace or anything.
Well,
and so I had to restock everything.
I hear you. I think one of the things that should be taken away from her circumstance is that when you get the notice, do something about it. And when you get served papers, they say, well, it's only civil, you don't have to go. If you don't go, they will take a default judgment. And then if you don't go in 10 days, they will file one of these little papers and come and take all of your personality. And you say, well, I was in the hospital, I was sick. You've got to stay alert. Now, they cannot put you out if you're not in violation. So always advance your rights. You know, the Legal Services of Middle Tennessee is one of the great organizations, and they help lots and lots of people when they're confronted with that. So you should really consider that. And then if you, the very least, make your court appearance, say, Judge, can I have a continuance so that we can get some help for another day? Just be responsible.
All right. Once again, Belize, thank you for calling in this evening. Great advice once again. All right. Back to the lines. Melinda, we appreciate your patience. We're glad you called in. Do you have a question or a comment for Kevin?
Yes, I have a question. In October 2011, my husband deserted me. I'm disabled. I'll never be able to work in any capacity. And he was my caretaker. He left me destitute. And at this moment, well, I've never had an address as where he is, but in trying to find him, I've discovered that he's had 5 outside children ranging from 2.5 years old to over 30. And I'm wondering, am I eligible to request alimony be granted to me from his Social Security?
First off, if you're still married to him, yes, you should file for divorce. Yes, you can. If you can get personal service, you can make a claim for alimony. And in fact, you are a classic candidate, because if he has the ability to pay, clearly you have a need. Now, for those people that are confronted, Social Security disability and Social Security usually are not gone. You say, well, then how are we going to collect? A court order can say you owe $1,000 a month, and you say, well, this is all the money that I have. The court order doesn't say where it comes from. The court order says that you owe it. And so many times that puts them in a real dilemma, and perhaps you can negotiate some kind of settlement and be paid through those. But if I were in your circumstance, I would absolutely pursue it, serve him, and I'd ask for the alimony. Alimony in solito means a lump sum. Alimony in futuro means in future payments. If you even got worse, then we would ask to increase that from $1,000 to $1,500.
Great information to know. Melinda, thank you so much for calling in. That's why it's a great way to find out what you need to know on the show tonight. We are talking with attorney Kevin Kennedy. It is Ask an Attorney. If you have those questions, make sure you get on the line with us as quickly as possible. Our phone's extremely busy. We are going to go right back to them. So David is on the line with us. David, do you have a question or a comment?
Yes, sir, Mr. Kennedy. I have got a problem with rental thing. Rent's due on the 1st, and after the 5th, they put a 70% or whatever charge on it. Goes up about $800.
Wow.
And then yeah, they jacked. I've been here 4 years, so I'm a 4-year contract. December last year, they jacked up the rent $120. Then started charging us $35 a month for water, and then $8 insurance for the building outside.
Let me stop you right there for 1 second, and I want to address that. You know, if they're charging $800 for a late fee, that probably is unconscionable, and it's probably interpreted unenforceable under that contract. I want to address this. You have a lease. Whatever that lease amount is for that period of time is the law. Now, when it ran out, do they have the ability to raise it to whatever? Yes, they do. Likewise, you have the ability to move and find a cheaper place. So go right ahead.
They're not charging me $800 for a late charge. It's 10%. Then it goes from 7. My rent was $610 last year. When I signed the next lease for the next year, it went up $120. Plus, they added $35 a month of water, which there's no meters here to even check water. I don't know how they do that.
Yep.
I live by myself. And anyway, my bottom line is this: they sent me a letter the other day and said if you don't have the rent by the 15th, and I tried to explain, I've got almost all of it, but I won't have the rest till I get my check on the 19th. They said if the rent isn't in there the 15th, the lawyers will be coming after me for eviction. And I'm saying by the time the court papers come here and whatever they got to do, which I understand none of this, I'll have the rest of the rent.
All right, well, you're dancing that little, you know, so many collection agencies are aggressive. They will lie to you. They will say if you don't have it here on the 15th, they use that as a technique to intimidate you so that you'll try to pay that on time. The vast majority is not that. Now, what does the law actually say? It doesn't give you 10-day grace. So parts of this, if they continue to have one more trick for you, if you had continued to do this, it's due on the 1st and you're paying on the 20th, and then we could say there is a course of dealings and that landlord has forfeited that, he has altered that, and we maintain that the course of dealings has altered that written agreement. The other lawyers say, wait a minute, that's statute of frauds. It's got to be in writing. Then we'll see what the judge says. That's why a creative lawyer makes a difference. Whatever the facts are, give me the facts, process it through this little computer, run to all my lawyers. Does anybody have a fighting defense? And they'll come, I don't like that one, I don't like that one. And this lawyer says, Kevin, I've got one that will work. I said, well, hit me and let's go. And that's the real world. Of course, you know, if you don't have that experience, you're going to come up short and they'll just move right on you. But never say never. And when all these lawyers say, I absolutely have you, never say never.
All right. It is like a law course. When I sit here next to you, I learn a lot. So this is really great information for myself as well. So, David, thank you for calling in this evening. We are going to go back to the lines, too. Gerhardt is on the line with us. Gerhardt, thanks for calling in. Do you have a question or a comment for Kevin?
Yes, I have a legal question I want to ask him. I went to a sporting event, and at the time it was Gaylord Entertainment Center, and the event was WWE, and I was sitting in the front row, and a lady behind me from the third row accidentally dropped her camera, and so I bent over I did the honorable thing, the gentleman thing, to do the right thing and pick it up for her. And when I did that, somebody had on steel-toed, made like cowboy work boots, and they stepped on my hand, and my hand got bruised. So I told the people at the event that I couldn't stay there because I was hurting real bad. And so they said, well, contact the arena the next following week and get back in touch with them and see what they can do about it.
Yes.
Replace the ticket. So which I did. I called the arena, and then by that time they changed their name from Gaylord Entertainment Center to May Center, and now they're doing Bridgestone Arena. And what can be done about that? Thank you.
Okay. Well, that's pretty good. They do change all the time. Who's really responsible? Who you were doing business with the night that your hand was damaged. And we see that quite often. If you'd go forward and say, hey, look, I've got this claim, I need to, they say, well, you call us tomorrow, and then tomorrow we have a dilemma. One of the things that you can always do, try to get as much information as you can. Try to get an incident report and see who the manager is and see if they will write that. Find out who their insurance company is, if they will give you the policy. Many times, I would just take the policy, take that claim, and contact them tomorrow, see my doctor, see what my injuries are, and then advance a claim.
Okay, so thank you very much. Gerhardt, we appreciate you calling in this evening. I do think we have time before this next break to go back to the lines with us. I think it is Connie on the line with us. Is that right? Okay, on 4. Well, okay, she's gone. All right, so we're going to go on to James. James, thank you for calling in this evening. Do you have a question or a comment for Attorney Kevin Kennedy?
I have a question for Mr. Kennedy.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes, go right ahead, James.
Yes, sir. Okay, and see here, in 2015, and at the beginning, like January and February, my grandparents both died a month apart. On January 19th and February 19th, they both passed away. Well, they told me, like, I was in their will, and because I lived with them, they were like my grandparents, but they raised me there, my parents, and I was with them every day and everything. Well, they had rental property, and they left me their vehicle, and they left me a house because the rental property, so I'd have somewhere to live.
Okay.
Well, when our son said that they didn't have a will, and they found this will from 1983, which I wasn't even born in 1983. I wasn't even in that will at all, and ended up, they took my vehicle I was supposed to have, and they sold it, and they took the house I was supposed to get, and they took it. I was wondering if there's anything I could do for that at all. Is there a statute of limitations or anything on that?
All right, first off, what you're confronted with is the classic will contest. So some children can say, hey, we don't want Junior to get that. If they found the will and they threw it away, so, well, we got rid of this will, we've got 83. If they get caught doing that, that is a crime, very serious. And so there might need to be some depositions. Everybody that's listening, if you've got parents, grandparents, or friends that said, I left you in the will, where is the will? And you try to get that in your possession, especially if you're the one that's going to inherit everything, because that way that document is important to you. If there is no will and the will is destroyed, then we go intestate. That's just how the government would come back and interpret. Children get per stirpes, each equal share, and you don't have to leave anything to a child. And so if you wrote them out of a will, they're out. But if you didn't have a will, they're in. And many things, it's very clever. So I say, everybody get a will. And who we're going to leave it to a responsible. One of the richest women I ever represented. I said, here's the will. Do you want to? She said, Kevin, I said, won't you transfer some money? You got more than we will ever use in your lifetime. And she said, I just can't trust them. And I said, wow. And those words ring in my ear. We have to do with people we can trust. That's a powerful word.
Absolutely. So, James, thank you for calling in this evening. Jay is on the line with us right now. So, Jay, thank you for your patience. We're glad you called in. Do you have a question or a comment for Kevin?
Yeah, thanks for taking my call. Mr.
Sure.
Kennedy, I got a question. We own some property in another county, and we've been having trouble with the county down there tearing up our fence when they bush hog, and you know those bush hogs that stretch way out.
Yes.
They knock all the limbs over on the fence and also rip some fence, and we've had horses get out. I was just wondering, as a legal stance, what we have. We've had the road superintendent out there also looking, and he just blows it off. But I believe in taking pictures, and I've took lots of pictures, and I just wondered if you could give me any more advice.
I give you a little direction. I'd get those pictures and that evidence, and I'd go see the county attorney and say who is representing, because it doesn't matter if it's a governmental entity, if it's a corporation. If someone tears up your property, they are liable. And so then we'll find out and have a little discussion with them. And if there is enough damage, you know, a lawyer would like to take that. And what is your evidence? Do you have the pictures of those bush hogs? Do you have someone who admits, say, yes, I did hit the fence, I'm sorry, but you know, that's it? Advance. Go start with the county attorney.
All right, so thank you so much, Jay, for calling in. We are going to take a short break. If you do have a question, any kind of legal question, this is the time to call. You're watching Open Line. We'll be back right after these messages.